Part 6. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 51. If everyone could still understand the carp gathering and Dengping crossing the water before, then the method Yang Lin showed now was beyond the scope of everyone's understanding. So after Yang Lin took the lotus leaves in his hand, the netizens in the live broadcast room instantly exploded. "I'll blanch, what kind of technique is this, magic? Or spell? He's already pretending, doesn't he even bother to pretend? It's fake. This must be a special effect done by the show team. Everyone present is a commission from the show team. I also think it's a special effect, otherwise it can't be explained by science. Why does it have to be explained by science? Is there a possibility that Yang Lin really knows magic? This is too explosive. As we all know, videos cannot be edited, and live streaming cannot be done, so this must be true. This is the real magic. The big devil is nothing. I strongly recommend that the Spring Festival Gala program team let Yang Lin be on it. No, there are still people who think this is magic. But then again, with all the bells and whistles, can it really be cooked? Will the dishes be delicious? Although the audience was shocked by Yang Lin's methods at this moment, they still had doubts about the so-called angel fish that Yang Lin said. At this time, Yang Lin, who had collected the dew, returned to the center of the pavilion again. Looking at the dumbfounded Chef Peng, he casually placed the dew-filled lotus leaves on the table. Strangely, the dew that should have spilled out was now tightly gathered in the middle of the lotus leaves, as if there was an invisible attraction attracting them. But everyone is already accustomed to this. Okay, everything that needs to be prepared has been prepared. Next, Pandeo will start cooking. Could you please Chef Peng to bring the fish over? Hearing Yang Lin's words, Chef Peng woke up from a dream. He immediately walked quickly to Yang Lin and handed over the carp in his hand. He can't wait to know how Yang Lin will handle and process this so-called angel fish. But what he never expected was that when he handed over the carp, Yang Lin casually threw the carp into the lotus leaves. Neither the scales were removed nor the gills cleaned, not even the internal organs were removed. What he couldn't understand even more was that Yang Lin made no other moves after throwing the carp into the lotus leaves. After being stunned for a long time, Chef Peng asked with a puzzled look. "Excuse me, Mr. Yang, is this ready? No need to light a fire for cooking." Faced with Chef Peng's inquiry, Yang Lin just smiled and remained silent. The next second, he turned to the waiter beside him and said, "Can you bring Pandeo a pair of scissors and some blank paper?" Suddenly hearing Yang Lin asking for blank paper and scissors, the waiter was stunned. After all, these two things have nothing to do with cooking. It wasn't until Chef Peng winked at him that she trotted away. A few minutes later, she ran back with a pair of scissors and several pieces of A4 paper. "Sir, this is what you want." "Thank you." After thanking him, Yang Lin casually took the scissors and white paper, and slowly walked towards the table under the surprised eyes of everyone. This angel fish dish is eaten by an immortal, so naturally the ingredients cannot be made of ordinary things. I need a piece of Ganoderma lucidum. As soon as he finished speaking, the scissors in his hand cut out a piece of fairy grass on the white paper, and then he threw the fairy grass into the lotus leaves in front of him. I need a piece of asparagus. You need to pay for the string glue to be renewed. You need 1 pair of leopard fetuses and 2 tails of phoenix marrow. Whenever Yang Lin named something, he would cut the corresponding pattern on the white paper with the scissors in his hand, and then throw it into the lotus leaf pot. At the end, he tore off the petals from the aura-filled lotus he had picked earlier and threw them into the lotus leaf pot. And his series of operations immediately dumbfounded everyone. If they hadn't known who Yang Lin was, his act of playing house just now would have been labeled as mentally ill. But Yang Lin obviously didn't care what everyone thought of him. After adding everything, he took another lotus leaf and covered it on the lotus leaf pot. Until this moment, no one could come back to their senses. Seeing that Yang Lin seemed to have called it a day, several people present quickly gathered around a lotus leaf pot, seemingly waiting for a miracle to happen. After waiting for a long time with no response, a staff member from the program team asked Yang Lin a little embarrassedly. "Teacher Yang, don't our angel fish need fire?" Hearing his words, the others couldn't help but look at each other. Until now, they all still have the last glimmer of hope for Yang Lin, but it is only a glimmer. After all, Yang Lin's behavior just now was too outrageous. But at this moment, Yang Lin seemed to remember something. "I almost forgot." Then asked the immortals in the sky to come down and help Pandeo light the fire. As he spoke, he picked up the scissors again and cut out several small paper figures on a piece of white paper. Before anyone could react, he blew lightly at the paper man. In the next second, the paper figures jumped to the pot one after another. Some threw firewood under the pot, while others took out fans to fan the fire. Not long after, the lotus leaf pot actually started to steam up. At this moment everyone was completely stunned. Whether it was the staff of the program team, the people in the hotel, or the hundreds of thousands of viewers in the live broadcast room, everyone looked dull. One of the waiters slapped himself several times, as if he thought he was hallucinating. How else to explain several paper figures moving around in front of him? "It's over, it's over. I'm hallucinating. I just said that the fungus I just ate seems to be poisonous. I just drank a bottle of beer, why am I drunk? I neither ate mushrooms nor drank alcohol. Why did I also see those paper figures moving? Illusion must be illusion. I really doubt that I just took it. What kind of method is this? Do Taoists have such magical powers? I just said there are gods in this world." When everyone was doubting himself, Yang Lin showed a slight smile on his face. The next second, he was seen reaching towards the lotus leaf pot. "Okay, the angel fish has been cooked. Chef Peng, please." As soon as he finished speaking, he uncovered the lotus leaves covering it. Suddenly, a strange fragrance came from below, and layers of clouds were faintly escaping. When the clouds and fog dissipated, a pot of extremely clear fish soup appeared in front of everyone. In the fish soup, there is a fairy spirit curling up, and bright lotus flowers are in bud. Among the many lotus flowers, the big carp from before seemed to come to life. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 52. Silence, deathly silence. At this moment everyone's eyes were focused on the pot of fish soup in front of Yang Lin. In their opinion, that fish soup is nothing but a pot of art. But the tangy fragrance seduces the gluttons in their bodies all the time. Not only the few people in the pavilion, but also the guests in the entire forest garden were instantly alarmed after the strange fragrance spread. What kind of fragrance is this? It's too fragrant. It's like the smell of flowers, or the smell of food. What on earth is it? It seems to be coming from over there. Let's go take a look and talk about it later. Yes, it's over there. Could it be that Mr. Peng has developed some new dish? Just as the guests in the fish and dragon banquet were moved by the aroma, Chef Peng in the pavilion finally recovered from the huge shock. First he glanced at the lifelike angel fish in front of him, and then at Yang Lin, unable to speak for a long while. But Yang Lin understood what he meant. This dish was prepared for Chef Peng to taste. Doesn't Chef Peng still use his chopsticks? Hearing Yang Lin's words, Chef Peng, who looked cautious, carefully extended the chopsticks in his hand to the carp in the middle of the lotus leaf. But just when the tip of the chopsticks was about to touch the carp, he suddenly stopped. Judging from his troubled expression, it seemed that he couldn't bear to destroy the integrity of the dish in front of him. Not to mention him, everyone else also had the same unbearable expression, all staring at the tip of Chef Peng's chopsticks, for fear that he would poke it. Seeing the expressions of everyone, Yang Lin couldn't help but reveal a wry smile. It's just a dish, made for people to eat. Since you can't bear it, then you have no choice but to be the bad guy. As he spoke, he said to the waiter on the side, "Please go get some more sets of tableware." Yang Lin has said this, how dare the waiter be negligent? After a while, more than 10 sets of bowls, chopsticks, and spoons were brought. After the waiter placed the bowls, chopsticks, and spoons, Yang Lin personally distributed the fish soup and fish meat in the pot to those bowls. Every time he picked up a piece of fish, everyone in the live broadcast room couldn't help but frown. Everyone at the scene was even more heartbroken. After a while, half of the pot of fish soup and the fish meat in it were divided out. Under the eager eyes of everyone present, Yang Lin immediately opened his mouth and said, "Let's all try it together. This is Pindao's first time making this angel fish dish." With Yang Lin's approval, everyone in the pavilion quickly picked up a bowl. Naturally, this includes Chef Peng. But even if they had gotten the fish soup, they still looked worried and looked straight at Yang Lin. Until Yang Lin said the word eat, more than a dozen people present used chopsticks to pick up a small piece of fish in the bowl. Then he carefully put the fish meat into his mouth. The moment the fish meat entered their mouths, everyone felt as if they had been electrocuted. Their bodies shook involuntarily, and then they stood motionless. The expression on his face was one of intoxication and shock. Their appearance also made the hundreds of thousands of viewers in the live broadcast room anxious. "Don't just eat and talk. Just tell me what it smells like. I'm so anxious. I really want to get into the screen and taste it for them. No matter how delicious it is, it's just a fish. Can it really be that delicious? It just feels like they are actors. Can a carp and a bunch of paper pieces really make something delicious? That's what I say, but I still want to have a taste." Their expressions reminded me of a food anime filmed in the neighborhood. The people in it had such delicious expressions. I originally thought it was exaggerated in the anime, but I didn't expect it would actually be like this in reality. It just doesn't shine anymore. Just when everyone in the live broadcast room was impatient, the diners at the Fish and Dragon banquet also came over smelling the fragrance. Among them was the old general's family, whom Yang Lin had just met not long ago. With just one glance, they spotted Yang Lin in the pavilion and Chef Pen next to Yang Lin. "Eh? Isn't that Taoist Master Yang? Why is he here too?" Chen Zhong, the head of the Chen family, said with a puzzled look. "It's really him. The person next to him seems to be Mr. Peng." Chen Lan was also full of surprise when he heard his father's words. "I just asked why I didn't see old man Peng today. It turns out he came here. Could it be that the strange aroma just now was really a dish developed by Peng Laoxin? This Lao Peng is really not interesting. He didn't even inform me of the new dishes. Come on, let's go over and have a look." While talking, Chen Zhong led his family towards the pavilion where Yang Lin was. Seeing this, other diners nearby also followed suit. When they all gathered around the lake pavilion, Chef Peng and other people who tasted the angel fish finally came to their senses. Is this really a taste that can be experienced in the human world? I finally know what spiritual energy is." As soon as he finished speaking, Chef Peng shed a tear of excitement from the corner of his eyes. At this moment, he seemed to see his old man who was the former imperial cook. Several other people, including everyone in the program team, were also extremely excited, but they could only say the word delicious. After finishing speaking, these people quickly picked up the spoons, scooped up a few drops of fish soup and put it into their mouths. The moment the delicious flavor exploded on their taste buds, they felt lighter. If I had to use an adjective to describe this feeling, it would probably only be the 4 words ecstatic. When they looked at the pile of palace delicacies on the table, they found it boring. At this moment, they could finally understand how Yang Lin felt when he ate this table of food. Just when everyone was in a daze, Chen Zhong also led the old general and his wife to Yang Lin. Just as he was about to say hello, he noticed the intoxicated look on Chef Peng's side. At the same time, he also noticed the half-pot of angel fish left on the table, and his eyes immediately lit up. Lao Peng, I know that Taoist Yang is a strange man and has a distinguished status, but we have been brothers for so many years, and you have studied new dishes and you still hide it from me. After saying that, he saw that there were still empty bowls and chopsticks aside, and he added a bowl of fish soup to himself as he was minding his own business. After adding it, he looked at Yang Lin with a questioning look. Naturally, Yang Lin was not so stingy as to be reluctant to part with a bowl of fish soup, so he nodded directly. The next second, Chen Zhong took a swig from the bowl with his mouth. At this moment, Chef Peng suddenly woke up and shouted to Chen Zhong. "Brother Chen, don't." But before he finished speaking, Chen Zhong drank the fish soup in one gulp. Seeing that the obstruction failed, Chef Peng could only sigh helplessly. "It's over, it's over. Now you know the taste of food marrow. I'm afraid nothing you eat will taste good in the future. This angel fish is really not something that mortals can eat." As he said this, he reluctantly put down the bowl and chopsticks in his hands, and did not even dare to look at the bit of fish soup at the bottom of the bowl. At the same time, when the group of diners watching around learned that the scent was actually coming from the fish soup in the lotus leaves, they all immediately exploded. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 53. Every diner who can dine at a top-notch restaurant like Yolongayan is either rich or expensive. Naturally, I have eaten more things than ordinary people. It is not an exaggeration to say that I have tasted all kinds of delicacies. But even so, they still couldn't resist the attraction of the scent of the angel fish, but they were not familiar with Yang Lin, so naturally they couldn't come forward to ask for it like Chen Zhong did. Looking at the pitiful eyes of the people outside, Yang Lin simply asked the waiter to get some more bowls and chopsticks. When the bowls and chopsticks arrived, he took out all the remaining fish meat and fish soup. Because there were so many people, each person basically only got about a bite, but this still made the audience in the live broadcast room envious. Although they couldn't smell or taste it, they could see the expressions and faces of everyone present. And it was the expressions of these people that aroused their curiosity even more. "Shut up, you guys, leave a mouthful for me. It's gone, it's all gone. What does this angel fish feel like? Yeah, I also want to know, why do people feel like they drink fish soup, just like those drug addicts? Is it really that intoxicating? I don't know about that. I only know that my cousin who smoked washing powder behaved like this after he smoked it. How did Yang Lin do it? Are the previous methods true? He only said that he practiced Taoism on the mountain, but he didn't say that he became an immortal." While the audience was chatting with each other, everyone present had already finished their respective fish soups. And their performance was the same as Chef Peng and others before. After finally coming back to their senses, these people immediately gathered around Chef Peng. "Chef Peng, Master Peng, is that dish just now a new dish you developed?" "Yeah, what's the name of this dish?" "Beautiful, the taste is so beautiful. When you take charge again next month, I will definitely come over again." "Me too. Although I won't be in the country next month, I will definitely fly back as long as you, Chef Peng, take charge. Master Peng, you must have received the true inheritance from your great-grandfather." Faced with the enthusiasm of the diners, Chef Peng could only smile helplessly. The next second I saw him saying to the diners surrounding him, "This dish really wasn't made by me. Let alone me, my old man can't make dishes of this level. If he could make such dishes back then, Lafayette would have given our family more than just this garden. Hearing Chef Peng's denial, everyone's faces suddenly showed doubts. At this time, Chen Zhong, who had just tasted the angel fish, seemed to react, and quickly looked at Yang Lin in front of him with a look of disbelief. Could it be that you, the Taoist priest, made this dish? As soon as Chen Zhong finished speaking, the eyes of the diners at the scene all focused on Yang Lin. After seeing Yang Lin wearing Taoist robes, the look of confusion on his face became even stronger. At this moment, Yang Lin nodded. In an instant, the whole place was in an uproar again, as if they didn't believe that a little Taoist priest could make such a standard dish. But soon Chef Peng stood up and proved it. I saw him saying to Yang Lin respectfully, "Thank you, Taoist master, for your advice. I finally know what spiritual energy is. These dishes are indeed overly crafted. They are just to cater to the royal taste. Unfortunately, I still treat them as treasures." As soon as he finished speaking, he was ready to overturn the table of food. But at this moment, Yang Lin reached out to stop him. "As long as you understand, there is no need to waste such a large table of food. Besides, we're not full yet." As he spoke, Yang Lin casually picked up a chopstick of vegetables from the table and stuffed it into his mouth. At the same time, he did not forget to remind the program team that several people should eat together. Upon seeing this, several staff members from the program team quickly sat down again. But when they picked up the dishes and put them into their mouths, their faces showed a look of extreme pain, as if they were eating not royal meals, but mouths full of candles. Only then did they remember what Chef Peng had just said to persuade Chen Zhong. Sure enough, you can't just eat the delicacies of gods. The matter should have ended here, and the diners returned to their original positions after knowing what happened. Only Chen Zhong's family stayed. "Taoist priest, I really don't know how to express my gratitude to you today. Not only did you save my mother, but you also presented such a precious magic weapon to my little daughter. I know that Taoist priest you are indifferent to fame and fortune. How about this? I'll treat you to this meal." As soon as Chen Zhong, who was full of excitement, finished speaking, Chef Peng interrupted him with an unhappy look. "Brother Chen, what are you talking about? You come to treat me on my territory. Are you not slapping me in the face? Besides, why are you selling this favor? Taoist master is also kind to me." After saying that, he said to Yang Lin respectfully, "Taoist priest, we won't charge you for your table today. In addition, in order to thank you for your kindness, please accept this card." As soon as he finished speaking, a waiter on the side handed over a card with gold trim. Seemingly worried that Yang Lin might misunderstand, he quickly explained again. "Don't worry, Taoist master, this is not a bank card, it's our supreme VIP card. With this card, you can dine here at any time and all meals are free. Although the dishes here may not appeal to you, it's okay to eat them as a casual meal." After listening to Chef Peng's explanation, Yang Lin thought for a moment and then took the card. "That's right. Anyway, we always have to find a place to eat every day. Let's eat here every meal from now on. What do you think?" As he spoke, Yang Lin looked at the program staff who were working there. In the next second, all the food in the mouths of the staff members spurted out. What a daydream is it to eat every meal in a restaurant like this that costs tens of thousands per person. Even the top people in the entertainment industry would not dare to eat like this. From what Yang Lin said, he was planning to use this place as a canteen. How could they be treated like this? At this moment they almost cried. It was obviously not only the members of the program team who had such thoughts, but the viewers in the live broadcast room were also jealous to the point of pounding the wall. Even Boss Yang, Reba, and Lu Tianxian, who were also watching the live broadcast, didn't know what to say to express their feelings. I even had the slightest idea of quitting this variety show. It was clearly stated that I was here to experience the hard life of a working class worker. Why are they the ones who have the hardship, while Yang Lin is enjoying the real life there? What the three of them didn't see was that their group of filming staff was already banging their heads against a tree. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 54. While Boss Yang and other artists were eagerly watching Yang Lin's live broadcast, Yang Lin himself in the fish and dragon feast on the other side was already full. Seeing Yang Lin put down his bowls and chopsticks, the program crew, who had no intention of eating, quickly asked their doubts. "Teacher Yang, we would like to ask, did you use magic when you made that angel fish just now?" As soon as this question came up, not only the few people at the scene became very energetic, but also the audience in the live broadcast room pricked up their ears. They have wanted to ask this question for a long time. After all, Yang Lin's miraculous operations before were completely beyond their previous knowledge. Seeing everyone around him looking at him eagerly, Yang Lin shook his head. "It's not really a spell. Strictly speaking, it can only be called a trick. Do you know the tricks, such as the fairy rope, the fairy picking beans, and the fish turning into a yellow dragon? In ancient times, it was also called the magic of goose. These can only be regarded as elementary methods in Taoism. It's just that everyone obviously didn't believe his explanation. The paper figures were brought to life. Now you tell them that it's not a spell, it's just a trick. This is like holding a sword with your front foot and telling them to believe in science with your back foot." In fact, Yang Lin did not lie to them. The techniques he just used were really just some inferior tricks, and he didn't even need to mobilize his magic power. Just when everyone expressed disbelief, another program staff member spoke. "Teacher Yang, if you say it's not a spell, can we learn it?" As soon as he said these words, everyone immediately became very energetic. There is no way, they really want to learn. Of course, these tricks are not difficult to learn and can be learned in a few months. However, before learning the tricks, you must practice in the mountains for half a year. Burn incense and chant sutras every day. You can't eat meat or fish, and you can't have any thoughts. After doing this for half a year, you can start learning the most basic tricks. Everyone was happy for a while when they heard Yang Lin say that it would only take a few months to master it. But as soon as they heard that they had to burn incense and chant sutras every day for half a year, and were not allowed to eat meat, everyone gave up the idea of studying. Forget it, I can't learn it. I can accept it by burning incense and chanting sutras every day. If you don't want to eat meat, you might as well kill me. That's right, if you don't eat meat, what's the point of living? I can't have any thoughts about you yet. I haven't experienced the pain of love yet. Please tell me not to have any thoughts about you. Whoever wants to learn this Dharma can learn it. Actually, it's useless to learn. It's still interesting to enjoy life." Almost instantly, everyone who was still in high spirits gave up their thoughts. "Okay, we've finished eating. Let's go back to the hotel. We have to continue recording the show tomorrow." After hearing Yang Lin's words, everyone in the program team realized that the time had already reached 9 o'clock in the evening unknowingly. I don't know when the popularity in the live broadcast room exceeded 1 million, and the number of people online was close to the 800,000 mark. This data has far exceeded that of other guests in this program. Even the most popular Kun live broadcast room has less than half of the number of people. But since Yang Lin said that was the end of the day, they had no choice but to close the live broadcast room after saying goodbye to the audience. Half an hour later, the program team, together with Yang Lin himself, returned to the hotel where Yang Lin had stayed. After saying hello to a few people, Yang Lin entered the room alone, and the first thing he did when he returned to the room was to enter a state of trance. The next second, the power of cause and effect he absorbed during the day was transformed into majestic mana. In less than a moment, the realm has improved a lot, and the total amount of mana has also increased by 30% compared to before. Unconsciously, a hint of joy appeared on his face. Great, with these magic powers, I can finally start to practice the first magical power. But which magical power should I choose? As a Taoist monk, in each realm, in addition to practicing the corresponding spells, you can also condense a magical power. In his previous life, he was a sword cultivator practicing the art of killing, and the first magical power he developed was the innate sword gang. But it was completely unnecessary in this life. He was the only cultivator in this world and there was no need for any killing techniques at all. After thinking for a long time, he finally made a decision. Just practice the kinkan in the sleeve. I just don't have any magic weapon for storage. With the kinkan in the sleeve, I won't need to carry a suitcase when I go out. As he spoke, he began to recall the relevant training content of kinkan in his sleeves. It didn't take long for him to enter the cultivation state. Before I knew it, more than an hour had passed. When Yang Lin opened his eyes again, a special symbol flashed in his eyes. The next second, he flicked the sleeves of his Taoist robe. Without the slightest warning, the coffee table not far in front of him disappeared out of thin air. Except for the mark on the carpet made by the legs of the coffee table, it was as if the coffee table didn't exist in the first place. After putting away the coffee table, Yang Lin turned to look at the sofa beside him, and then flicked his cuffs. The sofa also disappeared immediately. After he had collected almost everything in the room, he finally gave up. After some testing, he was quite satisfied with the magical power of kinkan in his sleeves. There is no other advantage except that it can be installed. According to his visual inspection, his two sleeves can hold a basketball court full of stuff at least. However, just as he was about to put everything back in his sleeves, there was a sudden knock on the door. "It's so late, who is it?" Without thinking much, Yang Lin immediately stood up and walked towards the door. After he opened the door, Boss Yang, Reba, and Lu Tianxian stood at the door of the room in a daze. At this moment, they seemed to have just come back from taking a shower, and their bodies were still smelling of fragrance. Looking at Yang Lin, who was wearing a Taoist robe, the three of them looked at me, and I looked at you, and they didn't seem to know how to speak. On the contrary, Yang Lin asked after seeing them. Do you want to come in and sit down?" Hearing Yang Lin's words, the three of them nodded in unison. However, when Yang Lin led them into the room, the scene inside stunned them. There was nothing left in the huge room except a bed. Seeing the stupid looks of the three of them, Yang Lin immediately patted his forehead secretly. "It's done, I forgot to put the things back." Just when he was secretly upset, Boss Yang spoke first. "Yang Lin, where are the things in your room?" When asked by Boss Yang, Yang Lin didn't know how to answer for a while. After thinking for a long time, he gave a reason that he didn't believe. "Maybe the hotel took it to wash." "Did you take the TV to be washed too?" "Then I don't know." "Don't stand, please sit down." As he spoke, Yang Lin made a gesture of invitation. "It's just that there is no place to sit in the room at this moment, there is only a lonely big bed." And just when the four people in the room were in embarrassment, on a tower crane opposite the hotel, a panting paparazzi holding a camera was so excited that he made a pig noise. "Damn, this is so exciting. Fortunately, I climbed up. I didn't expect it, I didn't expect it." Opportunities are reserved for those who are prepared. But then again, what exactly is the charm of this Yang Lin? But before he finished speaking, the curtains of the hotel opposite were drawn. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 55. In the hotel room, looking at Boss Yang and the three of them on the bed, Yang Lin, who was sitting on the carpet, finally knew their purpose. "You are here for the Jade Beauty Cream. You should have told me earlier." It turns out that the ointment is called Yuyan ointment. The name is quite appropriate, Lu Tianxian murmured to himself while nodding. But Reba on the side looked more anxious. Yes, yes, we are here just for the Jade Beauty Cream. Yang Lin, do you still have it? We can pay for it. I've been getting crow's feet recently. It must be due to poor sleep. I'm so troubled. Although Boss Yang on the other side did not speak, the expression on her face showed that she seemed to want it too. But Yang Lin's next answer made them disappointed. No more. We all used it up for that girl yesterday. But nothing, Boss Yang and the three of them said in unison. If you have the materials, I can help you cook it, Yang Lin said in a daze. As soon as he said these words, the three women burst into laughter. That's great. We can buy whatever materials we need. We don't need too much, just a little is enough. Yes, yes, I'll buy it for you. At this moment, Reba is like a little girl who is about to eat candy, without the slightest reserve of being a top actress. Only Boss Yang on the side seemed to have other ideas. And she quickly expressed her inner thoughts to Yang Lin. Yang Lin, have you ever thought about promoting Yuyan cream as a product that benefits women? As a woman, I know very well how much potential your Jade facial cream has. If it can be promoted, countless women who are anxious about their appearance will change. Promotion? What do you mean? Yang Lin seemed to be a little interested, and then asked Boss Yang. It means you provide the technology, I provide the financial support, and together we will make this product bigger and stronger. I am very confident that I can make this product worth tens of billions within a year, but I don't know if you are interested in it. After expressing his thoughts, Boss Yang looked at Yang Lin seriously, as if waiting for his final reply. She originally thought that Yang Lin would struggle with this issue for a long time, but before 2 seconds passed, Yang Lin nodded directly. Okay, no problem, but I don't have the energy to do this. If possible, I can tell you the recipe and cooking method, and leave the rest to you. I can take less of the money. Unexpectedly, Yang Lin made a decision so quickly. Boss Yang was stunned for a moment. You just trust me so much. Did you know that if your formula were released outside, it could sell for tens of billions? Aren't you afraid that I will turn against you after I get the formula? Hearing what Boss Yang said, Yang Lin just smiled. First of all, based on your appearance, you are destined to be a kind person, and you are destined to meet your noble person this year. If nothing else, that noble person will be me. Secondly, this formula is really nothing to me. As soon as Yang Lin mentioned these two reasons, Boss Yang was immediately speechless. On the other hand, Reba on the side became more and more excited. Can I buy a share? I already have a lot of money in my little coffers. Also, Yang Lin, would you like to help me take a look and see when I can meet a noble person? I want to win the prize and be soft. When she said this, Lu Tianxian on the side also showed emotion. Yang Lin also gave an answer to this. Don't worry, your luck and fate are excellent. Everything will go well, and everything you ask for will be answered. That's good, hee hee, you are more spiritual than the Bodhisattva in the temple. You said you are so young, how do you know so many things? You must have suffered a lot when you were a child. After some small talk, Yang Lin also taught Boss Yang the formula and cooking method of Yuyan cream. Boss Yang will find someone to run this thing, and Yang Lin will only have to sit back and collect the money. Okay, thank you very much for today. It's getting late, so we'll go back first. We have to set up a stall tomorrow morning. By the way, will you go out at the stall tomorrow morning? Just when Boss Yang was about to take Reba and the two of them out of Yang Lin's room, she suddenly turned around and asked again. After hearing her question, Yang Lin thought for a moment and finally shook his head. Tomorrow I will have bad luck and poor financial luck, so I'll go out in the afternoon. That's it, okay then. I also said that if you show up at the stall tomorrow morning, I'll buy you breakfast. After saying that, Boss Yang and the other three left the room. Soon Yang Lin was the only one left in the room. Seeing that there was no one in the room, he quickly put all the furniture that he had put into his sleeves back to their original places. After confirming that nothing had been left behind in his sleeves, he continued to sit cross-legged. But this time, instead of practicing magical powers, he took out the Imperial Edict and the Shangfang sword that he had obtained during the day. During the day, he had already figured out how to deal with these things. Imperial decrees are used as spellcasting documents. Shangfang's sword is used to refine magic weapons. The wooden box made of thousand-year-old mahogany heart can be cut into hundreds of blank peach charms. In the future, when necessary, he will carve curse seals on them, which are talismans that are far more powerful than the yellow talisman. Thinking of this, he immediately stopped wasting time and started refining the weapon for the first time after traveling to this world. And just when Yang Lin was concentrating on refining the magic weapon, the internet in Long Kingdom exploded because of him again. There were more than 10 hot searches in a row, and every one of them was inseparable from him. One of the most popular videos is his entire process of making angelfish. This video immediately received hundreds of millions of views as soon as it was released. Although Yang Lin said it was just a magic trick at the end of the video, netizens have already concluded that he knows magic. The second most popular item is the income of artists on the third day announced by the program team. Although theoretically speaking, Yang Lin did not record a penny of cash in his account today. But everything he gained today was valuable. Antiques worth more than 100,000 yuan, luxury villas worth tens of millions, and VIP cards for fish and dragon banquets at top restaurants. In the end, the program team also discounted these things. After the discount, Yang Lin's revenue on the third day reached a terrifying 13.7 million yuan, which was almost more than 1,000 times the combined single-day revenue of the following artists. As soon as this number came out, both fans of the show and ordinary netizens were dumbfounded. But in the end, the popularity of this news was lost to another one. The title of this news, which made the headlines of the entertainment section nearly half an hour after it was released, is 3 goddesses had a night party with Yang Lin in a hotel room late at night. In addition to the title, the message was accompanied by a photo. In the photo, Boss Yang, 3 top figures in the entertainment industry, and Yang Lin were crowded into a room, and next to them was an empty big bed. As soon as the photo came out, the servers of several social platforms with the largest traffic in Longguo crashed overnight. There's no way around it, this news is so explosive, it's comparable to a major earthquake in the entertainment industry. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q in Love is. Chapter 56. Early the next morning, Yang Lin, who had just woken up from his trance, heard rapid knocks on the door. Teacher Yang, something happened. Teacher Yang, please come out quickly. Hearing the familiar voice outside the door, although Yang Lin was confused, he still stepped forward and opened the door. As soon as he opened the door, a program staff member who looked familiar but couldn't quite remember his name appeared in front of him. What's wrong? What happened? As soon as Yang Lin asked this question, the staff member took out his mobile phone. Teacher Yang, didn't you look at your phone? What happened between you and Boss Yang, Reba, and Lu Tianxian is now known to the entire internet. Hearing his words, Yang Lin quickly glanced at the content on the screen of his mobile phone. At first glance, his brows instantly wrinkled. What appeared on the screen was a photo of him and Boss Yang in the same room. Teacher Yang, the fans of the 3 of them are going crazy now. In addition, a large number of media have gathered downstairs in the hotel. Boss Yang and the others are afraid to go out now. If this continues, there will be no way to film our show. As he spoke, the staff member showed an anxious look on his face. However, Yang Lin, who was frowning just now, immediately relaxed his brows. It's just a rumor spread by the paparazzi, and it should be downplayed soon. That's true, but the number of fans of Boss Yang and the three of them is too huge. If our program team cannot make it clear, the impact on our program will be very large. So you see. As he spoke, the staff member showed a look of inquiry. And Yang Lin quickly understood what he meant. You want me to come forward to clarify, right? Yes, we are going to hold a press conference directly in the morning, right in this hotel. I just need you to explain it a little bit, and then we can do a little public relations. Not only will this crisis be solved, but it will also increase the traffic of our program group. Without waiting for the staff to say more, Yang Lin nodded directly. So much so that he hasn't even reacted yet. After he reacted, he immediately took out a pre-printed speech from his pocket. Teacher Yang, just recite this when the time comes. We are all on the same page now. Boss Yang and the three of them are just here as friends. What else? Yang Lin gave him a strange look. When Yang Lin saw this, the staff member also smiled sarcastically. Just when he was about to hand Yang Lin his speech, Yang Lin waved his hand and refused. No need, I know how to explain. That's fine too. At the same time that the program team found Yang Lin, a large number of entertainment reporters also entered a conference hall inside the hotel under the arrangement of the program team. As soon as they entered the hall, these reporters from various media and major platforms set up live broadcast equipment, just waiting for Yang Lin's arrival. Whether it is for the media or fans, this incident is a big deal. Therefore, these media live broadcasts have just started, and some netizens with the idea of eating melons rushed into the live broadcast room immediately. I didn't expect to be able to eat such a big melon so early in the morning. Oh my god, Yang Lin is really awesome. That is to say, the three goddesses came to his room alone in the middle of the night. Impossible, absolutely impossible, how could my Reba fall in love with Yang Lin? I don't think it's possible either. The fairy sister can only be mine. Although I know that this matter is most likely caused by a marketing account, Yang Lin still has something to do if the three goddesses can visit at the same time late at night. Even if I know it's false, I'm still very angry. If the program team doesn't give an explanation for this matter, I won't watch this program in the future. Not only will I stop watching it, I will also report this program until it is removed from the shelves. Get Yang Lin out of this show. You dare to tarnish my goddess. Yes, why should he? Don't be so impulsive first. Let's see how Yang Lin explains it, in case it's just for work. Yes, eat melon rationally. Just when netizens were excited, a burst of noise suddenly came from the entrance of the conference hall. The next second, a figure wearing Taoist robes appeared in front of the media at the scene. Seeing this figure, the media reporters immediately focused their cameras on him. Yang Lin, I am a reporter from Mango Entertainment. I would like to ask you, what is the current status of you and Boss Yang, and how far has the relationship progressed? Yang Lin, I am a headline reporter. I would like to ask you why they appeared in your room so late last night. Yang Lin, is it true that the three of them have emotional entanglements with you as reported on the internet? Please answer directly. Looking at the group of zombie-like entertainment reporters in front of him, Yang Lin couldn't help but reveal a wry smile on his face. No wonder Boss Yang and the others don't dare to come over. Most people really can't stand this kind of battle. But Yang Lin is obviously not an ordinary person. Under the frantic interception of those media reporters, his right hand hidden in the cuff immediately made a magic trick. The next second, the reporters unconsciously made way for a passage. By the time they realized it, Yang Lin had already walked directly above the conference room. But even so, these reporters still seemed to be chattering. In this regard, Yang Lin changed his technique again. The conference room fell silent in an instant. Although the entertainment reporters were still asking questions, Yang Lin seemed to have blocked their voices at this moment. No matter how much they shouted, not a single word could reach Yang Lin's ears. Seeing the silence, Yang Lin immediately picked up the microphone prepared by the program team in advance. When the reporters saw Yang Lin pick up the microphone, they consciously shut up and cheered up. Because they knew that whatever Yang Lin said next would become important material they collected today. Even those netizens who watched the live broadcast in the live broadcast room were looking forward to how Yang Lin would explain what happened last night. And just as everyone was expecting it, Yang Lin finally spoke. First of all, I need to clarify that the visit of the three bosses Yang last night was purely our personal matter. Secondly, I'm not very familiar with them, let alone have any inappropriate relationship, nor do I like them or anything like that. In fact, in my eyes, the three of them are no different from other people of the opposite sex, and I don't think they are that attractive. As soon as these words came out, the media reporters at the scene were instantly in an uproar. They really didn't expect Yang Lin to say such words. Is he crazy? He actually said that Lu Tianxian, Reba, and the others are no different from ordinary members of the opposite sex. That's right, how dare he say such words? Anyone who says this on the internet will probably be sprayed to death. The three of them are all recognized as the most beautiful faces in Asia. Are they no different from ordinary people? That's not how you pretend. He really can't speak. This not only offends the fans of the three families, but also offends Boss Yang and the three of them. Boss Yang and the other three would probably have dark faces if they knew what Yang Lin said. In fact, it was indeed the case. When Yang Lin said the last words, not only the faces of the three Boss Yangs who were watching the live broadcast turned ugly, but also all the staff of the program team were stunned. What Yang Lin said was completely different from what they expected in advance. After his explanation, although it seemed that the crisis was resolved, in fact all these crises were passed on to him personally. Everyone in the program team can already imagine the scene where Yang Lin was trolled by the entire network. But at this moment, Yang Lin spoke again. Of course, what I just said may be slightly biased. I can't say that the three of them are not so touching. I can only say that I have met someone who has amazed me all my life. Compared with her, no matter how beautiful her appearance is, it is all vain. As soon as these words came out, everyone who had been talking about it fell silent instantly. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 57. When they first heard Yang Lin's previous words, everyone thought he was trying to explain what he had said before. The program team members who were watching secretly also breathed a sigh of relief. But before they could completely relax, Yang Lin's next words once again made their hearts rise in their throats. Oh my God, who taught him to say that? Stop immediately, this press conference cannot be held. Backstage in the program group, Yao Yuan, the program's chief planner, was furious. Originally, he was secretly happy because Yang Lin brought a lot of traffic to the program team. But at this moment, he really wished he could terminate the contract with Yang Lin immediately. He does not deny that there are people of the opposite sex in this world who are better looking than Boss Yang and the other three. But this is okay in private, but on the stage, it will completely offend the fans of the three female stars. This feeling is as if something that you regard as a treasure has been robbed by someone else. After the robbery, others still call your treasure a piece of trash. Who else would have suffered it? The total number of fans of the three of them on the internet must be 100 million, and there must be some irrational fans among them. A few days ago, an internet celebrity blogger scolded Reba online, and was then beaten up by Reba's fans. Yang Lin may not be afraid of these fans, but their program team is. However, Just when Yao Yuan was about to stop the press conference urgently, the fans in the live broadcast room could not help but become angry and curious. From what Yang Lin said, it seems like he already has someone he likes. Maybe, if that's the case, then the previous scandal will be self-defeating. I can't bear this. I don't believe there is a girl in this world who is more beautiful than the fairy sister. It's just that Sister Shenxian is the only actress who doesn't have any blind spots without makeup. No one should object to me saying this. If he can, he will show off the photos. As long as the people in the photos are prettier than Boss Yang and the other three, I won't care about it. I guess he is just talking big words, thinking that this will make him look more discerning. While the fans in the live broadcast room were noisy, a reporter at the scene also asked questions again. Yang Lin, you just said that you have met a more amazing person. Can I ask who she is to you? As soon as this question came up, everyone immediately pricked up their ears. 3 people including Boss Yang were watching the live broadcast in the hotel room. Looking at Yang Lin in front of the camera, Reba snorted. Huh, it's true that this Yang Lin actually said that about us, don't we look good? After saying that, she took out a small mirror and looked at her face. It's pretty good looking. I wouldn't call him the best in the world, but I wouldn't call him an ordinary person either. The person he is talking about must be his lover. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Lu Tianxian on the other side said with a thoughtful expression. If he is really his lover, then he is still a very good person. It would be great if I could also meet someone who only has eyes for me, Boss Yang said with an envious look. As soon as the conversation between the 3 ended, Yang Lin in the camera also spoke. As for her identity, she should be my senior sister, but I haven't seen her for many years. She should have successfully survived the catastrophe and ascended to immortality, Yang Lin said the next sentence in a very small voice. Can you show us her photos? The reporter who asked the question before suddenly asked again. And his question also touched everyone's heart. After what Yang Lin said, everyone became very interested in the senior sister Yang Lin mentioned. After all, it must be extraordinary to have Yang Lin miss him so much. But regarding this question, Yang Lin shook his head. No photo. He would also like to have one, but where did he get the camera from his previous life? Just when everyone was feeling disappointed, he added another sentence. There are no photos, but I can draw senior sister from memory. As soon as these words came out, everyone was in an uproar again. Draw it? He can also draw. Even if you draw it, there's no way it can compare with the photos. That's right, what painting can compare with a photo? Is he going to use sketching or painting? When everyone expressed doubts, Yang Lin found a hotel attendant on the side. After he said a few words in the waiter's ear, the waiter quickly left the venue. When he came back again, the waiter handed Yang Lin pen, ink, paper, and inkstone. When everyone saw Yang Lin spreading out the white paper and starting to grind the ink, everyone was dumbfounded. What is he going to do? Does he really want to paint? Brush, ink, is he going to paint Chinese paintings? No, where did he learn so many miscellaneous skills? Chinese painting is probably the most difficult. I want to see what he can draw in the end. Seeing that Yang Lin was not pretending, the cameras present immediately zoomed in and focused on the drawing paper in front of Yang Lin. After grinding the ink, Yang Lin started to paint carefully after thinking about it for a while. While he was painting, a picture could not help but appear in his mind. That was when he first entered Taoism in his previous life. At that time, he was just a Taoist boy. He would always remember that day when his senior sister Fairy Bixia came riding on clouds from the sky. While Yang Lin was immersed in the meeting, the pen in his hand did not stop. Under the witness of countless eyes, a female fairy wearing a colorful feather coat, carrying a sword on her back, and a fluttering skirt appeared on the page. As the appearance of the female fairy became clearer and clearer, everyone who was still suspicious at first was instantly stunned. The appearance that did not look like a mortal, and the otherworldly temperament were most vividly reflected at this moment. It is obviously ink without any color, but in the eyes of everyone, it seems to have countless rays of light. When Yang Lin finished the last stroke of the painting, the fairy on the scroll seemed to have come to life. Her every frown and smile was full of divine majesty, making people unable to bear the thought of blasphemy. As they looked at it, everyone's minds were drawn into the painting and they couldn't extricate themselves. They even had a strong urge to get into the painting. At this moment, Yang Lin, who put down his brush, suddenly coughed. In an instant everyone woke up. When I looked at the painting again, the strong attraction had disappeared, but the stunning feeling of the fairy in the painting was not missing at all. At this moment, they finally understood what Yang Lin had said before. Compared with the fairy in this painting, other women in the world really seem extremely ordinary. For a while, they couldn't figure out whether it was Yang Lin's superb painting skills or whether the fairy in the painting was really that beautiful. But the only thing they were sure of was that Yang Lin really wasn't pretending to compete before. What he said about Boss Yang and the other three beauties did not mean any disrespect, because what they said was simply the truth. Just when the scene was silent, a slightly different voice suddenly sounded in the scene. "Hello sir, is this painting of yours for sale? I want to buy it as a birthday gift for my mother." Upon hearing this voice, everyone present immediately looked towards the main entrance of the conference hall. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 58. In the conference hall, with the appearance of that voice, everyone's eyes focused outside the hall. Outside the hall door, a middle-aged man wearing business formal attire was standing there with a calm expression, his eyes looking directly at the picture of a female fairy in Yang Lin's hand. None of the media present expected that what was originally just an ordinary explanation and clarification would suddenly develop into another strange direction. The middle-aged man also noticed the strange looks from everyone at the scene, and quickly explained. "Don't get me wrong, I am Zheng Hanqing, the president of the Eastern Guangdong Collectibles Association. It just so happens that our association is holding a collection exchange meeting in the hall next to yours today. I just saw that gentleman's wonderful paintings, and my mother is devoted to the Tao, so she thought of inviting such a female fairy to her home. I just don't know which Taoist Yuanjun is in Mr. S painting." After listening to the middle-aged man's explanation, everyone couldn't help but have weird expressions on their faces as they suddenly realized. The person in the painting was obviously Yang Lin's senior sister, but that person actually thought she was a Taoist immortal. Everyone couldn't help but turn their attention to Yang Lin. The next second Yang Lin slowly spoke. "President Zheng has misunderstood. The person in the painting is not a Taoist master, but a poor Taoist senior sister. So that's it? I'm being rude. But Taoist priest, your painting skills are so extraordinary. If I have the chance, I hope to have the opportunity to ask you for a painting in person." After saying this, Zheng Hanqing turned around and left very politely, and walked towards the hall beside him. After he left, all the media reporters at the press conference couldn't help but look at each other. When things have reached this point, the press conference seems to have come to an end, and the previous rumors on the internet have been disproven. Even the three fans in the live broadcast room calmed down one by one. Only the fairy in the painting could not be forgotten for a long time. To be fair, if they really had to choose between Boss Yang, Reba, Lu Tianxian, and the fairy in the painting, they would most likely choose the fairy. Just when everyone was sighing, a loud noise suddenly came from the hall next to it. In an instant, the expressions of everyone present changed suddenly. "What's going on? What was that sound just now? It sounded like gunshots. How is it possible? How could there be gunshots here?" Before anyone could figure out what happened, the loud noise just now was heard again. At the same time, there were waves of exclamations from men and women. At this moment, everyone was finally sure that the loud noise just now was the sound of a gun. Immediately, the media reporters present got under the table. It seems to be coming from the hall next to it. Yes, yes, but aren't the people in the next hall from the Collectibles Association? Why are there gunshots? Is it possible that someone was robbed with a gun? After all, collectibles are very expensive. It's really possible. Then what should we do now? Do we want to go out? You're crazy. What if those gangsters get jealous? Don't go out yet, call the police first. While these media reporters were in chaos, a masked man wearing a gangster hood and holding an AK suddenly walked in from outside the hall. When he saw the people in the hall, he was stunned for a moment. Obviously, he did not expect that there were so many people next door to the target hall. What's going on here? Is it an auction? As he spoke, he looked at Yang Lin at the top. After seeing the scroll in his hand, his eyes lit up instantly. I didn't expect that there are good things here. If you can put them up for auction here, they will definitely be more valuable than the ones next door. As soon as he finished speaking, he walked towards Yang Lin on the stage with his AK in hand. Boy, give me the painting in your hand over the other auction items as well, then roll to the corner and hold your head. Suddenly hearing these words from this ruthless gangster, Yang Lin was stunned for a moment, and then couldn't help but laugh. Brother, are you in the wrong place? This is not an auction, this is a press conference. Press conference? Who are you lying to? Isn't what you are holding an antique? After hearing what he said, Yang Lin immediately realized that the other party had misunderstood, but he was too lazy to explain. Looking at the firearm in the opponent's hand, a cold light flashed through his eyes. The next second he took a step forward. And his move immediately alerted the gangsters on the opposite side. If you don't squat down, I'm going to shoot you. However, how could he scare Yang Lin? With the gangster's nervous expression, he took another step forward. At this moment, he was less than 10 meters away from the gangster. When the media reporters in the audience noticed this scene, their palms became sweaty. Is Yang Lin crazy? He has a gun in his hand. If he continues like this, sooner or later the gangsters will be angered. Isn't it just a painting? Just give it to someone else. It's not a real antique anyway. That's an AK. If it's hit from the front, you probably won't be able to save it. It's so unlucky. I didn't look at the almanac when I went out. How could I encounter something like this? It was obviously meant to be entertainment news, but it turned into social news. Just when everyone was frightened, it seemed that the gangster couldn't stand the inexplicable sense of oppression brought by Yang Lin. With a trembling hand, he pulled the trigger, and immediately a bullet was shot straight towards Yang Lin. Hearing the sound of gunshots, everyone in the audience turned pale with fright and couldn't help but scream in surprise. In their opinion, Yang Lin may have some special talents, but after all, he is a mortal body, so how can he withstand bullets? After just waiting for a long time, they didn't seem to hear the sound of bullets hitting. One of the more daring reporters couldn't help but be curious and stuck his head out of the table. The next second he saw Yang Lin standing opposite the gangster like nothing happened. As for the ruthless gangster, he stepped back step by step with his gun in hand, as if he had seen a ghost. Seeing this scene, he was immediately confused. It was obvious that the person holding the gun was a gangster, but why was he the one who was afraid? Just when he couldn't figure out what had just happened, the gangster pulled the trigger again. In an instant, a series of gunshots rang out in the conference hall, and each shot seemed to hit everyone's heart. They could almost imagine what it would be like to be hit head-on by so many bullets. But when they looked at the stage from the gap, the scene in front of them made them all open their mouths. Yang Lin was still the same as before, but the gangster had collapsed on the ground, as if he had seen something terrible in his eyes. Just when everyone looked puzzled, Yang Lin suddenly took out his right hand from the wide-sleeve robe. As he gently released his right hand, a series of sounds of metal hitting the ground sounded in the silent conference hall. Everyone looked from below and saw that what fell on the ground were clearly yellow warheads. Seeing these warheads, they could finally understand the mood of the gangster. At the same time, they couldn't help but have a ridiculous idea in their hearts. Yang Lin can actually catch bullets with his bare hands. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 59. According to the common view of modern people, as long as you are a carbon-based creature, it is impossible to withstand the attack of modern weapons. Even top predators like tigers and lions cannot withstand a round of bullets from the front, let alone humans. However, the picture that appeared in front of them at this moment completely subverted their previous understanding. Although they didn't know how Yang Lin caught all those bullets in his hands. And Yang Lin didn't give everyone a chance to figure this out. In the horrified eyes of the gangster, he finally walked up to the gangster. The next second, under the stupid gaze of the gangster, Yang Lin slowly took the gun from his hand. After taking a look at it, bursts of admiration came out of his mouth. It's indeed exquisite. It's more powerful than those in previous lives, but it's a pity that it's just a mortal thing after all. As soon as he finished speaking, his right hand holding the gun shook. Amidst a clanging sound, gun parts were scattered on the floor. As for the gangster on the ground, he kicked him aside, and then the gun-wielding gangster fainted. I don't know if he was scared or kicked. When the media reporters in the audience saw this, they all plucked up the courage and crawled out from under the table. After confirming that the gangster had passed out, these people immediately took out a tablecloth from the side and tied him up tightly. After they tied up the gangsters securely and tried to find Yang Lin, they discovered that Yang Lin had already walked out of the conference hall and turned towards the conference hall next to it. What should I do? Yang Lin seems to have passed by. Does he want to save people? That's right. How did he do it just now? Did he really give the bullet to the next one with his bare hands? How is that possible? Do you know what the bullet's rate of fire is? You can't even see it, let alone catch it with your hands. Then what he just used was another Taoist trick. I'm afraid this is no longer a trick, but a spell. Stop talking, hurry up and take a look. After a period of discussion, the media reporters each picked up their own equipment and carefully left the conference hall. At the same time, in the exhibition hall next door, 7 or 8 gangsters also wearing hoods were collecting many collections on site with sacks. Jewelry, jade, porcelain, calligraphy, and paintings, regardless of whether they were valuable or not, were all put into the sacks behind them. Perhaps it was precisely because they were obsessed with money that they couldn't hear what was going on next door. In addition to these gangsters, there was also a group of people squatting in the corner of the exhibition hall. Judging from their attire, they should be businessmen attending this exchange meeting. President Zheng, who talked to Yang Lin before, was also among this group of people, but his current condition didn't seem to be very good. The white shirt on his chest was already stained with blood, and a large amount of blood spurted from his wounds and mouth. With the flow of a lot of blood, he was already breathing out more and taking in less air. He could only sit against the wall of the exhibition hall with a painful look on his face. Watching helplessly, the gangsters snatched away the rare exhibits one by one. And when one of the gangsters smashed open a glass showcase and prepared to attack one of the purple robes, he spurted a mouthful of blood. However, just when the ruthless bandit was about to attack the purple robe embroidered with fairy birds and beasts, a voice came from outside the door. I advise you not to touch that dress. Hearing this voice, all the gangsters in the exhibition hall immediately looked over. At the entrance of the exhibition hall, a little Taoist priest wearing a yellow robe was looking at the purple robe in the display window with great interest. The celestial immortal cave clothes were given by the royal family. I don't know which celestial master from this world's Taoist sect wore them. Could it be Master Zhang from Longhu Mountain? Just when he was looking at the Taoist robe intently, one of the leading bandits suddenly walked straight towards him. How can such a wild Taoist priest be so blind? As he spoke, he raised the gun in his hand and prepared to hit Yang Lin's head hard. But Yang Lin didn't even look at his actions. He just gently raised his palm and hit the sturdy gangster before the butt of the gun fell. In the next second, the gangster, who weighed at least 180 kilograms, flew directly backwards, and then hit the exhibition hall floor heavily. He couldn't get up for a long time. Seeing this scene, not only the other gangsters were dumbfounded, but even the members of the collection association were dumbfounded. From their perspective, they didn't even see Yang Lin take action. Only the strong gangster's body was seen flying backwards. On the contrary, the entertainment reporters who secretly took photos outside the door saw it clearly, and at the same time, they also used their cameras to record the scene just now. In an instant, those fans who had not left the live broadcast room immediately exploded. I blanch him, is Yang Lin still a human? He was knocked away a few meters with one palm. This is too fake. If you are hit by a car, you will only fly so far. His palm may have several tons of force. Tyson can't beat him. Didn't you agree to practice Taoism on the mountain? What kind of Taoism is he practicing? Martial arts. Come on, those people who said they wanted to teach Yang Lin a lesson for their goddess, come out and beat him. Who said this? Did you say it? I didn't say it. I think Yang Lin is pretty good. I even think he is a good match for our Reba. Yes, we fans are very civilized. How could we hit someone? He can say whatever he wants in the future. Just when the three female celebrity fans in the live broadcast room collectively turned against each other, the remaining gangsters finally reacted. One by one, they picked up their guns and started shooting at Yang Lin. Seeing this scene, even everyone who had seen Yang Lin's methods couldn't help but hold their breath. After all, there was only one gun before, but this time there were several guns. What if I miss one? Until this time, Yang Lin finally looked away from the previous Taoist robe. Looking at the 7 black gun muzzles in front of him, a cold light flashed in his eyes again. The next second he casually grabbed a handful of white pebbles from the top of the trash can and threw the pebbles out without even looking at them. In an instant, those ordinary pebbles carried great kinetic energy and shot out towards the 7 gangsters present. Those gangsters didn't even have time to pull the trigger, and the left and right hands holding the guns were pierced by white pebbles. Ah! With several screams in succession, these gangsters, who were majestic just a second ago, instantly crouched on the ground, covering their hands. At this moment, their screams were the only ones in the exhibition hall. As for the others, it was as if they had been cast a restraining spell, and they could not speak a single word after opening and closing their mouths for a long time. Entertainment, let you do a side job and set up a stall to tell fortunes. Author, Immortal Q int Love is. Chapter 60. Seeing all the gangsters fall to the ground, all the attendees in the exhibition hall finally reacted. After looking at the gangsters who kept screaming in pain and their bloody hands, they finally locked their eyes on Yang Lin. The previous time Yang Lin took action, they did not see it clearly because their sight was blocked, but this time they could see clearly from Yang Lin's action to the fall of the gangsters. Especially the scene of Yang Lin grabbing those pebbles is still vivid in their minds. What happened? Did these people's guns go off? How is that possible? There were no gunshots just now. Didn't you see that it was the pebbles thrown by the man at the door? Pebbles. Can a person be beaten like this by pebbles thrown by human hands? Do I need to lie to you? It turns out that martial arts novels are all true. Who is he? Looking at him wearing a Taoist robe, could he really be a Taoist priest? Suddenly, the eyes of those attendees who were squatting in the corner with their heads in front of them looked at Yang Lin changed. As for the other entertainment reporters waiting outside the door, they immediately cheered after seeing the gangsters being knocked down one by Yang Lin. My Blanche is awesome, Yang Lin is awesome. He just threw a handful of stones, and why did those tough bandits fall down? What kind of rocks are there? It's obviously a shotgun. I originally thought that the flying needles piercing the glass and flying cards cutting cucumbers on Duyan were all fake. Now compared with Yang Lin, theirs are quite normal. I see that the palm of the hand of the gangster closest to him has been penetrated. How powerful is this? Damn. Our leader even asked me to follow Yang Lin secretly for the past few days. Now I won't do it even if I am beaten to death. At worst, I will resign. Who dares to dig up dirt on him? Just when everyone was sighing, Yang Lin walked straight towards the exhibition hall. When the gangsters saw him walking in, they quickly picked up the firearms on the ground. But the severe pain coming from their hands made it impossible for them to do this. The only thing they could do was to keep retreating. The bandit leader who had been knocked away by Yang Lin's palm earlier covered his chest again and again, while looking at the approaching Yang Lin with fear on his face. Don't come over here. It's illegal for you to do this, I tell you. I studied law. I don't have a weapon in my hand now. If you hit me again, you are over-defended and will be. Before he could finish his sentence, Yang Lin kicked him in the neck. The gangster passed out on the spot. Seeing their boss being knocked unconscious, the remaining gangsters were all shaking violently. Taoist master, brother, if you hit him, you can't hit us again. Seeing that these gangsters were frightened out of their wits, Yang Lin seemed too lazy to do anything to them anymore, and immediately shouted to the entertainment reporters outside the door. Come in and tie them all up. As soon as he finished speaking, the entertainment reporters who were filming secretly outside the door immediately ran in, and then just like before, they tied up all the gangsters present one by one. At this point, the situation at the scene was completely under control. At the same time, bursts of footsteps were heard outside the exhibition hall. Don't move, police, you are already surrounded, don't make any unnecessary resistance. The next second, under the gaze of hundreds of people in the exhibition hall, a group of armed special police with live ammunition rushed in. Even the few special police officers at the front were ready to throw smoke bombs. But at this moment, the scene in front of them caused their movements to stop immediately. Huh? What's the situation? Didn't there be 8 armed gangsters? Where are the gangsters? While the SWAT soldiers were stunned, a middle-aged policeman walked out from the middle. After scanning the exhibition hall, he finally looked at Yang Lin in the middle of the crowd. His eyes lit up instantly. Huh? It's Taoist Yang, why are you here? Hearing this familiar voice, Yang Lin discovered that the middle-aged policeman was actually the captain of the Criminal Investigation Brigade who had given him the bonus before. If you are here to catch those gangsters, they are here now, just take them away. As he spoke, Yang Lin kicked a tough gangster next to him. After the gangster was kicked by Yang Lin, he quickly shouted to the police. Yes, yes, police uncle, it's us, take us away quickly. As soon as he finished saying this, several other gangsters also echoed, fearing that they would stay here for a second longer. The police took them back and detained them at most, but if they were next to this Taoist priest, they couldn't guarantee that something would happen. The policemen on the other side, who were already very confused, couldn't help but look puzzled when they put away their firearms after seeing the appearance of this group of gangsters. When they received the report, the city bureau immediately attached great importance to it. After all, this was an armed robbery, a major case. To this end, they not only dispatched regular police forces, but also arranged special police to assist. There were even 2 snipers placed on the building opposite to prevent the situation from escalating. But the current situation has nothing to do with the various advance predictions they had made before. Furthermore, their Plan A and Plan B are no longer in use. All they need to do now is to take the gangsters who have been tied up into the car and leave. After returning, they may be able to get a second-class merit for nothing. The level of simplicity is lower than catching a few thieves. Thinking of this, the middle-aged policeman immediately took out his walkie-talkie and said inside, "Let's all disperse, let's all disperse, the gangsters have been arrested, the gangsters have been arrested, close the team." After saying this, he walked straight towards Yang Lin. "Daozang Yang, please tell me what happened here and who tied up these gangsters. And their injuries." Facing the middle-aged police officer's inquiry, Yang Lin first glanced at the gangsters on the ground, and then answered without hesitation. "It's nothing." As a law-abiding citizen, Pandeo feels it is very necessary to cooperate with the police uncle's work. "So before you guys came, Pandeo just took care of them." Cooperate with our work. Just cooking it." Looking at the gangsters in front of him who were bundled like rice dumplings, the middle-aged policeman fell into deep thought. And just when he was about to ask people to take away the gangsters, a cry of surprise suddenly came from the side. "President Zheng, what's wrong with you, President Zheng? Hold on, the ambulance is coming soon. Is there a doctor here? Quickly find a way to save President Zheng. He seems to be dying." Hearing this voice, everyone's eyes instantly focused on a corner of the exhibition hall. I saw that the middle-aged man who had been injured by the gangsters had begun to twitch. Every time he twitched, a large amount of blood would spurt out of his mouth. Soon the floor was covered with blood. There is no doubt that he is really going to die this time. Just when everyone was thinking this, Yang Lin walked quickly towards him.